right now. I wish I knew when it actually was screen capping. La la la. La 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 la. Hey, there it is. Why, hello, and welcome to issue 593 of Geek in the City Radio. I am one of your hosts, Aaron Duran.
And I'm your other host, Cable Hashitani.
And we are sans one Denise / Binarita today because according to her text, she is now existing in bed with her bones outside her body, telling her, why don't you just die? AKA she had her second COVID shot yesterday. Yeah.
So that tells me what I have to look forward to next week.
Oh, you get your second one next week?
Yep.
Are you a Pfizer? Are you a Pfizer man?
I am a Pfizer man.
Yeah.
Pfizer
that was Moderna,
man,
which
Pfizer
I think is like...
man.
Is he strong? Listen, bud. He's got anti-RNA COVID. Something blood.
Something like that.
Does he still wear a mask? Yes, he does, because he's not an ass. Look out. Here comes the Pfizer man. That's pretty good, actually.
That's good. That's good.
That's good. Yeah. I feel like the Ramones would have respected that one.
Oh, now I want to listen to that Saturday morning album.
Oh my God. Do you actually, they finally released that on actual vinyl?
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't know that.
I did not know that. That is wild stuff. Well, look at this. Let's be dated. I'm gonna make a fucking Johnny Carson reference. Hi, kids. We're getting old. That was old when I was a kid.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, but I was that kid. Yes.
Yes. I'll be your Ed McMahon.
You are correct, sir. Thank you.
I don't know why that triggered the fact that this is not an ad, but you are a person who appreciates the Brotherhood of the Wolf.
Oh, I almost literally like 20 minutes texted you like, Cable, you probably know this already, but...
Shout Factory releasing a special edition Blu-ray this summer.
We should actually get them as a sponsor because they have... I can't speak for Denise, but they have you and I on point. Like, they know...
Oh, yeah.
Our soft targets.
Like, every time it's like, hey, look what we're making. Fine, here's my money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that that went up on their Twitter yesterday, and I'm like, well, I'm buying that.
Yeah, no question.
Yeah.
I still need to order the Event Horizon.
Oh, really? You haven't?
I still haven't got it. No. And it's a totally dumb reason why, too.
Go on.
Because I keep hoping, and this doesn't make any sense, because why would I still not enjoy this version? I keep hoping in my deepest, darkest horror heart that footage of the director's cut is still out there fucking somewhere.
No, it's not.
I know. I think even they've even admitted that. They're like, it's gone. Like, no one can find it. It probably got destroyed. But I'm like, but
it is lost to the annals of time.
And I'm not like some fucking wanky release the Snyder cut, restore the Snyder. I just want to see, because the movie we got is good. I love Event Horizon. I mean, is it a great movie? No. Is it a fun movie and a great piece of like space horror schlock? Fuck yeah, it is. And I fucking love it. But, you would read about things they shot. And I was like, oh, not that it would change the movie, but I was like, that'd be cool to see.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be cool. I'd love to see that. That still might be his best movie ever. The director.
Oh, who's the director?
I always want to say Paul W.S. Anderson. But if you're not, I'm always afraid I'm confusing my Andersons. Oh, Paul W.S. Anderson. Yeah.
Oh, so Resident Evil, Paul W.S. Anderson.
Yes. Yeah.
Really?
I think so.
That explains a lot of that movie. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, he's... Yeah.
You can bag on his films all you like, but they're entertaining.
That guy has never failed to entertain me.
Yep, and
I'll
bet he's never failed to provide an ROI.
Oh, no. When you factor international numbers, no. Yep. I still think on paper, Mia Jovovich is the most profitable female action star in history. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I take it back. He has disappointed me twice. Mortal Kombat Annihilation, which is
oh god, that was
fucking awful. Remember the part where they get in those balls and travel through the earth?
No, because
in those weird like pachinko.
Deliberately forgotten all of that movie.
Yeah, that one's bad. And Resident Evil Nemesis is awful. The second Resident Evil movie, it is unforgivably bad.
Those are the only two that I can think of that I'm like, no, I don't ever need to watch either of those ever again.
I even like Alien vs. Predator, which is a ridiculous film.
Mm-hmm.
Ridiculous.
He did a thing on screen that you don't normally do, and I did appreciate it, which is he killed a child on screen.
Hell yeah, he did.
And most movies do not do that.
Like, that was the second one, I think.
If they kill a kid, it's always off camera. It's always implied. It's never, nope, that's graphic blood. And I'm sure it has something to do with, well, we can't do that to a kid. It's going to traumatize them. It's like, even if it's fake and we tell them it's fake, they don't know. It's like, meh.
And also he's like, you took your kid to an R-rated movie. That's on you.
Mm-hmm.
I went into this whole rant one time that the thing that ruined, this is going to get me in trouble. The thing that ruined Spielberg movies is he had a family.
Yeah.
When it comes to like, I'm not talking about like Schindler's List, which is a beautiful piece of work. I'm talking about his like run of the mill. You know, you could argue that Spielberg created the blockbuster with Jaws.
Mm-hmm.
And the Spielberg who made Jaws compared to the Spielberg of now, the Spielberg of now would not have had a gushing fountain of blood in the ocean when the kid is killed by the shark. He doesn't do it. Case in point, when he made War of the Worlds and the fucking kid survived, the older kid survives joining the army to fight the aliens. It's like, no, the Spielberg of 1978, that kid dies as an example of don't be foolish and join the military to fight aliens because they're not ready to fight aliens.
No.
Yeah. So, whew, a little rant in there.
Speaking of War of the Worlds, I've been reading through my back catalog of Usagi Yojimbo, getting ready for our game.
Ooh, yeah, I'm excited.
And I think I have a date. Just wrangling that one player. Always wrangle one player, right?
Oh, dude, you're talking to a 30+ year DM. Yes, yep. There's always the one.
There's always one,
and I'm the one half the time. I fully admit it.
Yeah, you're not the one this time.
No, I'm in another Trek game where I've missed 2 out of the 3 adventures. I'm like, I'm sorry. I know I said I could, and then something happened and I can't.
Yep. But so I've been going through the back catalog of stuff, and I came across a mini series that I collected and never read. Because I opened it up, I'm like, I have never read this ever.
Really?
Yep. And it's Senso, Usagi Yojimbo Senso, which takes place 20 years in the future of the Usagi Yojimbo storyline, where Jotaro is an adult, Lord Mifune, not Mifune, the little panda. He's an adult. I think it's Fujiwara. I don't remember. Anyway, and Gen the Rhino has become a retainer to the same Lord, and they're finally having their giant battle against Lord Takiji, and
right.
The battle is pitched. It's going sort of well. Like Jotaro gets attacked on the field, and Usagi loses his mind and just grabs the Lord's horse, rides into the field, and just starts mowing down samurai because he's Usagi.
Right.
And then the battle is interrupted by a spaceship that crashes in the middle of it, and suddenly it's War of the Worlds. It is literally the plot of War of the Worlds. Like, aliens come out, build tripods, they start attacking feudal Japan.
And this is Stan Sakai who did this?
Yes.
Did he just wake up one day and said, you know what? Aliens versus samurai. It's my comic. I'll do whatever the fuck I want.
It really is. Like, this was it. Yeah. And
when did that come out?
I don't know. Well, Dark Horse still had the license. 2014. Before they screwed that up.
Oh man. Yeah. Never mind. No.
The aliens, the Martians in the story are shaped like taco, so they call them taco people. They're giant. They're octopus, land roaming octopus.
Yeah. Sorry, our upstairs neighbor had sushi, so I already had sushi on the brain, and then you mentioned taco, and I'm like, God damn it! I feel guilty eating octopus though.
Oh, I gave it up.
I'll still eat squid.
Until they can prove to me that squid is also as smart as octopus.
It's because they're smarter than we are. That's why I feel bad.
They are, and they're aliens.
Yeah.
Like the more, the more research they do, that keeps pointing out, oh yeah, they have too many things that do not match any other life form on the planet.
I mean, they're also assholes though. I mean, there's plenty of video of octopuses or whatever, just killing something because it annoyed them. Not because they were hungry, just because they thought like, I don't like you.
Mm-hmm. I think there's video footage of them straight up, like, it's just swimming along and straight up punches another fish or a seal or something.
Mm-hmm.
It just
there was that
a tentacle.
There was that aquarium that they kept introducing this shark.
Mm-hmm.
And it would show up, they would show up like 2 days later, like, oh, the fucking shark is dead. The shit. They put another shark in, it died. And then one day they hooked up a camera and realized the octopus knew that the humans were there when the lights were on. But when the lights were off, there was no human. And the sharktopus was like, fuck you, put another fucking predator in this tank.
Did you just say sharktopus?
Well, it was implied.
Yes.
Full disclosure, I'm a little high, not because I am doing any drugs, but because I had to spray this anti-mold primer paint in my basement. So the good news is I can breathe really well because there's no more mold. Bad news is a little high from paint fumes.
Yay.
Yeah. One is easier to deal with than mold. So,
This is true. Norm, we're going to get to Falcon and Winter Soldier and all that stuff. We'll talk about that towards the end.
Although, fucking like Rev Nat's in the chat.
Yes, I see.
Thoughts on the new Dune? Oh, looks cool.
Is it out yet?
It's pretty soon. I've heard rumblings from people that have seen it. That's kind of all I can say because I'll get in trouble if I mention who saw it. Mm-hmm. And they have said that it's phenomenal. That if you can afford to rent a theater with like 10 of your closest friends, do that. If you're into Dune, run into Dune and like, don't do it.
Okay.
Apparently it's dirt cheap. For like $100, you could rent an entire theater right in the screen right now. So you get 5 of your friends, Don't get me wrong. There's a part of me that wants to do that. I saw Godzilla versus Kong on my TV, and part of me is like, I kind of want to get a couple friends, just smuggle in some beers and just watch Godzilla and Kong beat the shit out of each other again.
There were certainly some moments in Wonder Woman 84 that the shots, I'm like, oh, this scene would have been really good on the big screen.
Mm-hmm. The thing I really miss is sound. Unless you're stupid rich and you have your own personal theater, no home setup can match the sound of like an epic film. And those theaters are designed to do that. That's what I really miss, is that great sound. Well, apparently it's October.
Oh,
it's October is when it comes out.
Well, that's fine.
Sack said, how about them Knicks? I know he's being ironic because why would you ask this show about basketball? Unless it's Space Jam.
Don't. No, you watch football. You don't watch basketball.
I watch soccer.
Football. Yeah, but you also watch. Well,
I used to.
It's more you follow the Bills.
It's more I'm disappointed by the Bills. It's more like I'm in a horrible relationship that I just can't let somebody go. You know, it's like, they're going to cheat on you again. Like, yeah, but look at them. And when it's good, it's so good. Like, they're a great kisser. They cook really well. But you're going to fucking break your heart. Yeah, I know. Like, that's me and the Bills.
That's.
I saw a person outside today with a Bills hat, and I couldn't help it. As I walked past, through my mask, I said, "Go Bills!" The guy's like, "Go Bills!"
Dude, I understand. That was my ex-wife. My ex-wife was a Bills fan.
I thought you said your ex-wife was basically like being the Bills.
Oh no, she was a Bills fan.
Oh yeah, no,
she was from Buffalo, so.
Right. Yeah, that's it. I mean, the one good thing you'll say about Bills fans, at least from my experience as myself, like you can't get, every time you see fans like, oh, it's so hurt, it came so close, and I'm like, yeah, eventually, losing is an art form too, and you just have to get good at it. You got to practice it. You got to practice the art of the graceful loser, and you will one day become a Bills fan. So yeah,
Zach is getting all snarky with us. It's like,
dude,
I don't know who the hell the Knicks are.
I haven't seen the show called The Knick, which I heard is amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, but that's a whole other thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's see.
Yeah.
Well, we can dive into Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Do you want to do that now, or did you want to save that for the end?
We can save it for the end, but full disclosure, we don't have a whole lot going on. Cable's been busy, and this is the first day that I have felt human in almost 3 weeks. My allergies are so bad, I was actually put on real prescription strength Sudafed. Not the fact that not like you get a prescription to get regular Sudafed. I've been put on the strong Sudafed and then told to take double Allegra every day, a prescription strength eye drop, and my breathing got so bad that they reactivated my little steroid inhaler to give my lungs a kick. Like, Jesus. That's how bad allergies have been. Like, it has been brutal. So I've been a mix between can't breathe, just sitting in a heap of my own congestion, or I can kind of breathe, but my heart's going like 120 beats a minute because I'm on so many uppers just to like keep my lungs working. That it was a few days ago, I was literally standing in the kitchen and just turning my head and looking around, and finally, like, Jen took her headphones off from work and she's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like Hunter S. Thompson. I was like, "What? What do you mean? What am I doing?" She's like, "What are you doing?" "I don't know. What are you doing? Are you okay?" "I don't know. I came in here for something." She's like, "Are you hungry?" "Maybe. I'm gonna go lie down." Like, that's like, those are the meds that I've been on.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah. Today was the first day I've been human. So
if you go full on Thompson, that says something.
Yeah, I was one more albuterol hit from being like, I can't stop in my kitchen. It's bat country, Mm-hmm. I did do that once.
Did I say that out loud?
I did that one time. I literally was coming out of my bathroom and Jen said something and I went, huh! And I flailed in the air. She's like, "What?" I was like, "Just when you said something, I saw something come out of your mouth." She's like, "My voice?" And then I just went back to the couch and like watched cartoons.
That's pretty much all you can do when you're at that level.
Yeah. So let's see. Beck said, "Are we going to watch the new Space Jam?" I am.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I've never watched the first one. So I don't have any attachment to it.
I don't either. I just love the Looney Tunes characters, and I will watch anything with new Looney Tunes characters. That's my thing.
That's the next collectible Lego minifigure set.
Looney Tunes, really?
Yep.
But are they Space Jam ones or are they just?
It does have Lola Bunny.
Well, that's fine. That
Everyone
I would
else
love them
is,
to go deep and have like the hair monster and
nope. It's everyone that you expect. I'll see if I can dig up a photo. But yeah,
I mean, what the fuck? The weirdest fucking thing about the newest Space Jam is how like Warner Brothers has said, and any pictures I've seen seems to verify that. Every Warner Brothers character is somewhere in the background at some time in that movie. And I don't mean like, oh, they're gonna have like Batman and Superman in the background. Like Warner Brothers produced A Clockwork Orange, which means, they're in the fuck. There's already somebody already found them in the stands at the big game.
Great.
So yeah, that's fucking weird to have, Droods or whatever, cheering on Lola Bunny as she's dunking. It's very strange. And it's also weirdly genius because I think this is also a way for them to legally lock in every character they own for another 70 years for copyright.
Oh, weird.
Because it's new content.
Right.
Yeah. I do appreciate the slight meta irony because they've showed a picture of Nicholson's Joker courtside, which if you know Nicholson's thing for basketball, that's kind of meta on a couple levels. So I appreciate that. That works. I can track that.
I just put a link in the YouTube chat. I'll put it in our chat so you can go take a look at it.
All right. Yeah. Someone says seems like a cash grab. Well, I mean, one could argue that every movie is a cash grab.
It is. Every
modern kind of blockbuster movie. I mean, every movie wants to make money. That way you can keep making movies. But whenever I hear do they really need to make a sequel to ... I'm like, well, no, but they wanted money. So yeah, I guess. If you don't want them to make these things, don't go. If you don't want to see every year, you're like, oh, Hollywood's out of ideas, nothing but remakes and sequels. I'm like, well, then quit going to them. If they start to lose money, Hollywood will start to do something else. But y'all keep telling them that you dig it because you give money to them.
That's why the whole myth of capitalism and the free market will decide for itself. It's like, no, that's all bullshit.
Ooh, I kind of want a Speedy Gonzalez and a Marvin the Martian.
Yeah, individually, there are a couple that I'm like, oh, that would be fun. But overall, I'm like, yeah, they're neat. I don't need these in my collection.
Yeah, I mean, they're not that dissimilar to when Disney does minifigs. I mean,
yeah, and some of those I wanted more, but usually the villains, I have an Ursula and I have a Maleficent.
Well, it looks like this Lego set for Looney Tunes is kind of your basic, because there are some deep cut Looney Tunes characters that would be fun.
Oh yeah,
if they did Viking Elmer Fudd, awesome.
If you notice, there's no Elmer Fudd at all.
Right, I know.
There's no Yosemite Sam.
Do you think it's because they use guns?
No,
and it's Warner Brothers being really.
Considering how heavily armed the entirety of the Marvel Lego universe is.
But maybe it's a Warner Brothers thing though, where they're trying to.
Then none of the DC superheroes would be armed, and they're just as heavily armed.
Okay, you're right. Never mind. Yeah.
In days of old, yes, I would agree with you, but I think Lego has taken a different stance as far as weaponry and their minifigs. I'm still surprised. I think that started to go away the second that they produced, oh yeah, we should totally make a Deadpool Lego minifig. What could possibly go wrong?
I guess that's true. Yeah.
And they did, and I own it.
I do appreciate the Tasmanian Devil with its separate base.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
With
pretty good.
spinning.
Yeah, and also Petunia Pig. She's a relatively deep cut.
She is. I think it's so that they can have not just all male figures.
Yeah.
But like, so Yosemite Sam is missing. Elmer Fudd is missing. Pepe Le Pew is missing. I think that he's going to continue to be missing.
Yeah.
But that could be round 2. You could also throw in Witch Hazel and what is the name of the big red monster with the sneakers?
I don't remember. I always call him the hair monster.
Is it Mortimer?
Maybe.
Someone in the chat will know. Someone in the chat will know, and they will say, and they will chastise us for not.
And we need the frog eventually.
Michigan J Frog.
Michigan J Frog, yeah. I mean, I think you can do an entire Bugs line of his different costumes.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
I would like a Carmen Miranda Bugs Bunny.
Oh yeah. I want the one. Well, I want a Barbara Seville one, Carmen Miranda, Valkyrie Bugs.
Mm-hmm.
La dee dee da 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 da, Hocus Cadabra. It's one of the best episodes ever.
Count Dracula.
Oh yeah, Bogus. I can't talk about that.
Abracadabra, I am a vampire.
Abracapocus.
Abracadabra, I'm an umpire.
I want to say also, speaking personally, I am glad that Speedy Gonzalez is there. I know there was that moment when white guilt America wanted to cancel Speedy Gonzalez until they realized that all of Mexico loves Speedy Gonzalez. He's adored in Mexico.
Yeah, he's great.
He's great. He's a hard worker. Yeah, he's got the act, whatever, but he's a hard. Who we don't like is Slowpoke Rodriguez. That's a character that we could do without the Slowpoke. But everyone in Mexico fucking loves Speedy Gonzalez. Who doesn't love Speedy Gonzalez? Because he gets it over on the man to steal cheese and to save the people. I think that's what he does. The Pussycat is the Spanish. And he screws them over to get cheese for his people.
Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah.
Gossamer.
It's got okay. Yeah.
Sack reminded us it's Gossamer.
God, Sack is like a wealth of endless knowledge.
I think much to his credit and his own chagrin. I think there are times that he would like to be blissfully ignorant, because then it would make it easier for him to get through the day.
I feel bad for activating the chat because Nat just said Dune Spice Jam. And then Norm said, now all I can ever see is Sting and his leather chonies slam dunking from the 3-point line. Well, you know what? Now that's all we're going to fucking see.
That's great.
Yeah.
I like that.
Never mind. That's it. Yeah, that's holy. Yeah. Norm just said, it's weird that they took out Pepe Le Pew, but are keeping the Droogs in the Space Jam movie, because the Droogs also do horrible things in that movie. But let's remove Pepe Le Pew from the Space Jam movie.
Yep.
Yeah.
Children won't get the Clockwork Orange reference until they're adults.
No, they won't.
Whereas they have readily accessible to Pepe Le Pew.
That's true.
I sort of get it, but there's a little bit of hypocrisy going on.
It's true. I mean, I was never a big Pepe Le Pew fan anyway. Not because of, I mean, now for other reasons. When I was a kid, it wasn't like I was like some like woke 10-year-old, because who was? I just thought they were boring. Like Pepe Le Pew was always a one-trick pony in terms of jokes. And one could argue that Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote are also one-trick ponies. He can't catch it, but they're so funny. Because Pepe Le Pew only does one thing over and over again. One could argue that Wile E. Coyote only tries to do one thing over and over again, but he does it in different ways, and they all fail.
I could watch Wile E. Coyote fail all day long. There's still something very very
It's
remarkable about it because if you watch it, you watch him fail over and over, and he never gives up, ever.
no. And there's something. It's completely childish and dumb, but I could forever watch that overhead shot. I'm gonna start giggling. Think about it. And then that quiet, with just that puff of smoke and dust. Like it like that joke sticks every single time. It sticks.
Yep.
It just pops. It works so
God.
well.
The
That when he's in the air and he puts a sign up that says cut, cut, cut. Yeah.
I would like to see the Jekyll and Hyde version of Tweety Bird.
Yeah,
That would be another
that's a
deep
good
cut.
one.
Oh God, you could
Kind of
do
the only Tweety Bird I like. I don't like Tweety Bird.
no, because he's
Yeah.
They didn't do Granny. They could do a Granny.
Oh shit! They could do the little the little baby kangaroo. Oh father, father. When he puts the shame, father. Well, no, it's a baby Sylvester, not a baby kangaroo, because he gets
Right, the baby
because
kangaroo.
he thinks it's a mouse and it's a
Yep.
baby kangaroo.
There's no Foghorn Leghorn.
Can we talk about Foghorn Leghorn really quick?
Yes.
A character whose foundation is clearly inspired by a highly romanticized and fake version of the South, and yet he works.
It's because he is the he's the parody of the
That's it.
plantation owning Southern colonel gentleman.
Yeah. It's the thing where like the people writing the Foghorn Leghorn are acutely aware of what they are satirizing and parodying. Yeah. Him and the baby chicken. I'm a chicken hawk.
Yep.
That boy ain't right.
That boy ain't right.
That boy ain't right.
There is the wolf and the sheepdog.
Sam and Ralph.
Sam and Ralph.
Morning, Sam. Ralph.
Morning, Ralph. They'd be great. They're also deep cuts.
Are they really though? For
Sort of.
Looney Tunes fans, are they deep cuts? Even casual fans remember. They might say, you know, the one with Wile E. Coyote and the sheepdog, not realizing that it's a technically different character,
right?
Because it's a red nose instead of a black nose. But
and it's a wolf and not a coyote.
Right. Yeah.
I think they would also need to do Duck Dodgers.
Yes.
And Porky Pig is his sidekick. And then
oh no,
Robin Hood and Friar Tuck.
Oh my God.
I'm Robin Hood from yonder with my little bow and arrow.
My first exposure to the concept of fencing was from that thrust, parry, strike. Also, you're gonna have to vamp for like a few minutes. I got to run upstairs really quick. I've had dog issues.
I'm going to. Okay, you go do that.
I'm going
to vamp on my own.
Well, here I'm going to give you a topic really quick to play about because you mentioned Duck Dodgers. So something just got released like 2 days ago from like the Lucas vaults, from like George Lucas's own notes on Star Wars. So initially, he did not want to open Star Wars with the John Williams fanfare on the scroll. He wanted to open it with the Duck Dodgers theme to let people know that don't take this movie too seriously.
Wait, what? Okay, this is fun. I don't know how I'm supposed to vamp on that by myself, other than the fact that that is absolutely ludicrous. Did I say Donald Duck? You said Daffy Duck. I can't imagine. Yeah, I can't imagine what that would have been like, putting some sort of weird Daffy Duck, Duck Dodgers theme song in front of Star Wars instead of having the giant scroll of letters and the John Williams theme. I think it's because it's become so iconic, and that was the first thing I saw when I was 6, 7 years old. I don't remember how old I was when Star Wars came out. Um, hmm. Hmm. What says the chat about this? Or is everyone also kind of mulling this over? Huh. That's really weird. Just goes to show that it's helpful not to give people a final cut. Yeah, that's true. That's a very good point, Zach. Or at any point in their career, like movies are like, I respect artists being able to have a say in what they want to do, but when you're making a movie, you're not just making a piece of artwork. Unfortunately, you are making something that's commodifiable, and you need to have not committee, but you need to have other voices that go, what if you told the story this way instead of the other way? It is really hard to vamp when it's just one person.
You got really serious there, I could tell. Because I just wanted to come back with more stupid Duck Dodgers anecdotes, of which I have one.
What's your Duck Dodgers?
My other anecdote is that people don't realize this, that since it happened in a Warner Brothers cartoon connected to DC, Duck Dodgers is canonically a Green Lantern.
How?
They did an episode of, there was a new Duck Dodgers series that came out, I think, in the early 2000s on like Cartoon Network or something. And I believe they had Jon Stewart show up, and Duck Dodgers gets a ring. And he does his version of the oath. He's like, black as day, it's something, evil something, power, Green Lanterns, might. So canonically, Duck Dodgers is a lantern. And I approve of this.
Yeah. I mean, if they'll let Nort in, why not?
Yeah. Oh, Nort. Is that the squirrel?
Nort? No.
No, they let a squirrel in.
Yes, but the squirrel Chip,
that's right.
The squirrel is useful. Nort got let in because he's someone's nephew. Nort
that's how Guy Gardner got it. No, sorry.
Guy Gardner, once upon it, before a traumatic head injury, was a sane person, and that's who was given Green Lantern.
Was that football coach era Guy Gardner?
I don't remember.
That's how he started.
I don't remember the details. I just know that there was a traumatic head injury, and that is why we got the 80s Rambo-fied version of Guy Gardner. And the reversion to who he would have been was after Batman punched him. And he suffered yet another traumatic brain injury.
Sorry.
Guy Gardner is not one of my favorite Green Lanterns.
No, not mine either.
But I do like him more than Nort.
Jon Stewart might be my favorite. Followed by Kyle. I don't know. I hated Kyle's costume initially, but I always liked Kyle Rayner. I like the idea of an artist becoming a ring bearer.
The only thing I didn't like about Kyle's costume was his mask.
It was the mask.
It looked like he was wearing a crab on his face the entire time.
That mask was awful.
But the rest of it was fine.
Yeah.
I like the concept of Kyle. I do like Jon Stewart better.
Right.
And I don't care at all about Hal Jordan.
I mean, I respect Hal Jordan's place in history, but I think it was super. Well, we're just jumping around, but we're all in Warner Brothers here. I respect, out of all the things that kind of came out of post-crisis, I do, and granted, the fall of Hal Jordan and the rise of Kyle was a few years after Crisis and 0 Hour and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But I do respect the guts that DC at the time actually went like, no, Barry Allen's dead. Hal Jordan's gone crazy. Hal Jordan is dead. These are the new versions, and we're sticking to it. Mm-hmm. Those are arguably the only two, quote, legacy characters they ever really did that with. And yeah, it changed in the mid 90s to kind of bring other characters back, but there's a small slash of people that their Flash is not Barry Allen. It's Wally West.
I am one of those people.
Wally West
always been my Flash.
Got married, had kids, and Kyle Rayner, for all his horrible starting with the fridging of his girlfriend, like Kyle got his own arc and he became friends with Connor, who became the other Green Arrow. Like there was an era of DC storytelling that kind of still had some legacy characters, but still had some OG legacy, but was like, it had characters that could prove that the mantle can be passed on, and you can still enjoy old stories. If you miss Hal Jordan, the stories are still there, man. You know,
I felt like that was that was also when we got Tim Drake,
my favorite Robin. But yeah,
yes, who proved to us it's like, oh, you can put together a Robin that is not Jason and is not Dick and is wildly different and yet still the same.
Exactly.
And I think that would have also been the time period where if you were going to move Garth into becoming Aquaman, that would have been time to do it. And then all of those characters could have been legacy.
Yeah. There was an argument to be made that you could have elevated all the Titans to basically the JLA versions of themselves. There was a time, I don't remember what crossover it was now, but there was this whole rumor going around that they were gonna actually kill Bruce Wayne, that Dick Grayson was gonna be the new Batman, and that Bruce Wayne was gonna die, but that he wasn't out. But that, I think it was during when the Spectre was unchecked, whatever that crossover was. And there was the rumor that like, oh shit, they're going to make Bruce Wayne the next host of the Spectre. And how do you track with that? This person who was so obsessed with justice having to keep the Spectre in line. Because the Spectre unchecked is just like, you're jaywalking, die. Because that's the Spectre unchecked. And me, as everyone knows, like I'm a diehard Batman fan. And even I was like, I'll read that. Like I like Dick Grayson. He can wear the cowl. Bruce Wayne is the Spectre. Okay, let's do it. Fucking A, I'll go for it. I dig it. It didn't happen, but I also love that short era where Hal Jordan was the Spectre. I thought those were really good books. When he was like, no, you're not vengeance, you're redemption. I fucked up. You have fucked up. Let's fix things on a galactic level. I thought those were beautiful books, and apparently only myself and Michael Ring did.
Yeah.
Oh, but they had those gorgeous J.M. Diamandis covers, and Brayfogle did covers. John Astor. Okay, I'm just diving down the deep DC well now. Of what could have been. So yeah. Someone Bex asked, is Guy's anyone favorite?
No. I mean, I'm sure someone somewhere they've got like a subreddit of
probably
a subreddit.
But even then, it's probably ironically.
I think half of them are ironic, and the other half actually think that, yes, he's the best one, and they don't realize everyone else is doing it. Ironic.
Guy Garner is the John Walker of the DC. Here's how we lead into that shit.
That feels unfair to John Walker.
I don't think so. I think they actually have a very similar outlook. My favorite Guy Gardner is the dude who owns a bar. When he became Warrior for a while. So dumb. But the idea of like, Guy Gardner running like basically a sports bar, that totally tracks. Where superheroes can hang out and drink shitty ass beer and eat buffalo wings and talk about the good old days. I'm like, I would actually read the DC version of Cheers where it's Guy Gardner. Come tell me your problems. I'd read that fucking book. I'd read that book in a heartbeat.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah. It's got to be better than that fucking weird ass crisis thing that Tom King wrote.
The Heroes in Crisis book? Is that what that was?
I have major issues with that.
I didn't read it.
You're not missing much. And I feel bad because like Tom King is currently like the comics god. So I'm yet again setting my DC career back another 5 years. I don't want to read your daddy issues. We all have them. Don't make it your career.
Yeah,
wait, hold on. Hear that?
I still wish I could have fought Dan DiDio in a cage match for editorial control of DC.
I'm in a few private Discord channels where I know people that would have paid to watch that fight. And that's all I'll say. Says the guy who just like fucking crucified Tom King. Yeah. He's a good technical writer. I just don't like his approach to character. And
that's fair. Yeah. See, and that's different. Like,
he's also apparently a nice guy. I'm not bagging on him. He's apparently a nice guy. Everyone enjoys work with him. I just his stories don't click with me.
It is important as a modern consumer of any media to be able to recognize when something is of quality and it also not is your thing.
Yeah. Vexa said that she would pick Mogo over Guy. Well, everyone would pick Mogo. Mogo is a planet. Mogo is cool.
Mogo has a better name than Guy Gardner.
That's true. And Sack just said that as long as he wears the suit, new cap should be called Johnny Walker Red, White, and Blue. We have the best listeners.
That's really clever.
That's pretty good. Yep. I can see the whiskey tie-in for that.
Mm-hmm.
Pick your Patriot, red, white, or blue.
Oh, man.
Well, should we roll into it then?
Yes, right before we do that. So I watched another Loki trailer today.
Yeah.
You know how everyone is bagged on the logo? Because
have they really?
Yeah, because the logo is bad. Like,
really? I love the logo.
Except it for graphic designers. Every graphic designer I've known has looked at that and went, why? Why are there 4 different fonts?
Oh, I love it because sorry, yeah.
Go ahead.
I love it because I know it's grabbing fonts from every incarnation of him. So I love it.
Which wasn't immediately like, that makes sense to a comic fan.
Yeah.
To the casual viewer of the MCU, it looks like their graphic design department got sloppy. It's like, this is just a mishmash of fonts. Why did you do this? Especially when fans started putting together fonts where the O was the horn of Loki's helmet. It's like, that's gorgeous. But once you watch it and realize this is talking about variants of the timeline, and when you see them basically switch through all of the different letters, so it's till they get to that, it's like, okay, now it actually contextually makes sense. It's a visualization of the fact that we are dealing with variant Lokis and variant timelines.
Right. Did people not get that from the first trailer?
I didn't.
Oh. I mean, part of it might be that I'm already kind of wired to like weird ass dimension and time travel hopping shit.
Mm-hmm.
For as much as I loathe the temporal Cold War and Star Trek Enterprise, I love weird time travel shit. Where you're like, here's the rules. You know.
Yep.
I see that Norm in the text box is creating your title card right now.
I see that. I saw that.
Um,
The
the one thing I hope we don't get in the
Mhm.
Loki movie, only because I will cry like a little baby, is I don't want an interpretation of Kieran Gillen, when he wrote Journey into Mystery with Kid Loki,
Mhm.
and at the end, Kid Loki was forced to grow up after he had died from, I think, the siege or whatever
Mhm.
that crossover was. And that heartbreaking final issue where he's like, I don't want to grow up. I don't want to go back to what everyone thinks I am because that's not what I am. And Odin's two ravens are like, sorry. Like you knew this was coming. And it was that same moment in Doctor Who when David Tennant's like, I'm not ready to go. Like here's
Mhm.
Kid Loki saying, I'm not, please don't do this to me. It's gonna happen. I'm like, don't you do this to me, show. Don't do this
I
to me.
I feel like that's entirely possible.
Oh yeah, they're totally gonna do it.
I do appreciate how frequently Tom Hiddleston does the
I know. Come on.
every single time, like every other scene in the trailer seems like it's him just going.
I'm also convinced that Owen Wilson got that job because Tom Hiddleston does such a good Owen Wilson impersonation. And you know, there's outtakes of them just going off on Owen Wilson's own voice.
Mhm.
Wow. What are you saying that for? What are you saying that for? Wow. I'm also crazy excited for Owen Wilson's part. I don't even care what it is. Just
the bit where he's like, you love to talk.
well, the second trailer, I would not do that. I've got examples of you stabbing people 50 times in the back.
You've literally stabbed people in the back.
I like that. I like you say that. It makes you sound smart. I am smart. Okay.
It's like,
yeah.
oh, I know.
Oh, I know. Okay.
I just said, but you're still saying it. It sounds condescending.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. Falcon and Winter Soldier. AKA John Walker chops a fucker's head off with freedom.
So much of that episode, like, which you knew was coming. So much of it. And
so
yet
much.
To still have it displayed on screen was like I knew it was coming. Like I haven't read those comics and I knew that there's only one way this is going to go, and yet to still watch it happen, it's like, oh, okay, I really am attached to that shield as a symbol. So the thesis that they have been putting forth in this show about how maybe we should not have idols is not off base. Come here, Kat.
The thesis presented by Baron Zemo.
Yes,
but I do like how he acknowledges when Sam says like, but what about Steve Rogers? And Zemo goes, touche. You know, there's always one. There's always one who disproves the rule, but are you willing to bank the safety of the world, hoping you get the one?
The one.
I'm not, or Zemo's not. You know what I mean?
I think that the fact that we are getting as much time having the three of them discuss things is just as important as it would have been to have them fighting in the field. Like I thought they were going to be fighting Zemo the entire time. Having him integral in the group and having conversations about what is freedom? What does this mean? What does that mean?
Right.
Okay, this is your point of view, except that also oppresses these people and puts these people down and does this. Is that okay? You're the hero. You tell me. It's like,
exactly.
Yes, this is what we need. We need our heroes challenged. We need our villains to be thoughtful. It is still not the full conversation, but it is definitely more of it than I was expecting from this show.
Yeah.
I was not expecting them to spend as much time as they do talking about what it means to be a hero, what freedom means, what being a villain means, what, like you're saying, finding that Steve Rogers in is a 1 in a billion.
Is a 1 in a million. Yeah, it's a world of 8 billion people.
Mm-hmm.
You got luck. Well, let's go back. Whatever. When World War II happened, it's a world of 3 billion people.
Mm-hmm.
You got lucky. You found Steve Rogers. How many and that's the whole thing that's the point of Steve Rogers.
Mm-hmm.
He's the fluke. He's the paragon, but is also the anomaly when it comes to humanity. That's why we all love him.
Yeah.
And it's like when Bucky and Sam had their confrontation with Carly Morgenthau. Like, you knew he was going to start to get to her, and that, John Walker was going to fuck it. Like, you knew it was coming as a plot point. It still didn't stop it from being like, God damn it. They were this close to connecting with her. Like, Sam was connecting with her. And even though you knew Cap was going to fuck it up, it was still a bummer when it happened.
It was also important that happened in the first place. Like,
sure,
the fact that they wanted to address this, it's like, yes, we know that she's killed people. We can still bring this back. Because the whole point of both Sam and Bucky is a story of redemption. Sam is a story of healing.
Yeah. Like,
that is his role. Mind you.
I mean, Bucky is also redemption and tragedy. It's a long game, but like Steve Trevor / Captain America, his greatest tragedy is he could never save Bucky. Once Bucky is brought back, the tragedy now becomes, it's not that Cap couldn't have saved Bucky during World War II. It's that Bucky has been out there the whole time and Cap didn't know, and he could have saved his best friend if he'd have known. So that's the new tragedy. And yeah, with Sam, it's healing on multiple levels. Made even more impactful now that Sam knows that Isaiah existed, that there was a black Captain America. After Steve Rogers was frozen in ice, they tried to replicate it, and the whole fucking country did him wrong because he was a black man. So now Sam has to reconcile that with his own ideals and vision of how he sees Captain America. He doesn't blame Steve Rogers, but now he questions the symbol.
And he is realizing, like, when he was talking with Carly and was saying, I agree with you. It's like, that's not bullshit.
No,
he wasn't, I need to tell you whatever you need to hear. It's like, no, he's also seen what she's seen and goes, okay, you're right.
He's not saying I agree with you to get her to put the gun down and surrender. Sam legit agrees with her.
And wants to bring her in as, all right, you have brought up this problem. What do we do to solve it? What do we do to actually solve it?
Yeah, he doesn't agree with her actions because Sam wants to protect life. Well, he doesn't, but he agrees with her thesis. He agrees with what she's fighting for, not how she's fighting it.
Right.
And that's a very important line.
And also recognizes that the methods that she's taken are based in pain.
Yeah. All right, let's jump really quick because it was in the text box. Bucky's reaction when the Dora Milaje removed his arm. I loved it.
I had a reaction to it when we were watching, which was like, damn, that was cold. And then the more I think about it is, like, I've seen people bring it up on Twitter. It's like, we need to address the fact that the potential damage that causes to Bucky's recovery, because that single act then told him that the people that were trying to heal him still don't trust him, which means it could cast a shadow over his entire recovery.
It could, my counter argument being that at his core, Bucky is still a soldier, and he knows on a rational level what was done to him. And deep down, he would have done the same thing. He would have also put a failsafe in himself. There is still like 60 years of deep programming that made him the most lethal assassin in the world. It's
you couple that with his statement to Sam during their therapy session, which was, if Steve was wrong about you, then he was wrong about me. And now he's getting the same thing from the Wakandans.
He is to an extent. They didn't take the arm. They just took it out of the equation. In fact, IOU even says, leave it. They just took his most obvious weapon out of the equation. Bucky's still dangerous without that arm. He's still an incredibly trained fighter. I look at it it's going to hurt him emotionally, but I think he still gets it.
Sure.
More so than that conversation that he has with Sam. I think he still gets it. It's not to get like Trekkie on. It's the same reason why Data knows why he has an off switch. It's the same reason why Superman gave Batman kryptonite, saying like, shit could go south one day. I need someone I trust to stop me if it happens. Maybe there's an argument that that at least the Dora Milaje could have told him, hey, FYI, you have a fail safe that can be exploited. We're not telling you what it is, and it won't kill you, but it's going to take your most powerful weapon out of the equation. There's an argument for that. But I can't feel like deep down Bucky's going to find it offensive that they built in a fail safe to turn off technology that they still technically own.
Yes.
It's theirs.
As is that shield.
Which she also didn't care about. Leave it.
That's always the thing that, like, I am glad that I know going into this after that first episode, when the US government goes, oh, we're going to make a new Captain America, here's your shield. It's like, that doesn't belong to you. That shield actually belongs to Wakanda.
Right. Yeah.
And the Wakandans have not forgotten that.
Right. There's some folks in the chat talking about how like the Dora Milaje don't trust Bucky. There's an argument to be made that that's not their job. There's a line, I believe it's in, I think it's at the end of Civil War, or maybe it's an Endgame, I don't quite remember, where T'Challa basically says, I don't blame Bucky. Zemo killed my father and did horrible damage to you. I can heal one of you. So T'Challa, in a way, has forgiven and trusts Bucky. That is not the Dora Milaje's job.
No.
Their job is to protect the king and the interests of Wakanda at all costs. It is not their job to have trust in Bucky. And to expect them to do it, I think is, narratively unrealistic. It's like asking our Secret Service. I mean, that's what it is. They are loyal to the crown, to the symbol of the king, the leader of Wakanda. Don't ask them to have a leap of faith of this one-time deep state programmed assassin who has Wakandan technology in his arm to not go against them. That is the role of diplomats. They are the scalpel that has been sent out to cut the cancer out. Don't ask them how they're going to do it, because they're going to fucking do it.
A vibranium scalpel.
A vibranium scalpel. Yeah, that's their job. Their job is to remove the threat to their people, period. Not their job to trust him. They can respect him.
Mhm.
Like I think they do. You know, and I'm sure at the end of all this, when he goes back to Wakanda and hangs out, he's gonna have drinks with Oyo and be like, "That was a hell of a move." And she's like, "Thank you." Like they're gonna, in my mind, they're gonna toss back beers over this later on when they're both kind of off duty, as it were. But in that moment, they don't owe him a.
No.
They don't. They don't owe it to him. Not their job.
And they still chose the route of, we're going to, sorry for the obvious pun, disarm him instead of kill him, because they came there for Zemo, and Walker's the one that stepped in it.
Yep. Oh, Walker, they weren't even super soldiers. No, they're the finest trained warriors on the planet. You know what? Deal with it.
Finest trained warriors on the planet, who also now have veterans of intergalactic war under their belt.
Yes. They have literally fought against the apocalypse.
And are technically Avengers.
Yes. All these things.
Everyone in that fight in Endgame is an Avenger.
Yes.
If you heard Captain America say Avengers Assemble,
you're
an Avenger.
Yes. And are quite possibly at this moment, even though it's not been admitted yet, are probably dealing with some shit from some dude named Namor.
Probably.
But that's a whole, possibly. Yeah. Fucking Norm. Vibranium Scalpel was the name of my all Spanish guitar Marvin Gaye cover band. That's not bad.
I think we're like, aside from all that, I think that the big thing to talk about with Winter Soldier now, or Falcon Winter Soldier now, is definitely the whole arc of John Walker and what happened.
Yeah.
Because this was a hell of an episode.
Even the way that part was shot when he kills that guy, like the camera angle, all of it is meant to be vicious and awful.
It was uncomfortable. It was very uncomfortable to watch that occur. And I know that I'm watching a piece of fiction.
Yeah, no, it's that shield do that. And even though this is a new Cap suit, it's still a Captain America suit. To watch that happen, is very, very uncomfortable and very not right.
I think it's also important that we never saw John take the serum.
Right. Well, we saw him pick it up.
We saw him pick it up.
But
we
not
never
take it. Yeah.
We don't see him take it, because that is, we see it with Cap because that's the whole point of the movie, but we don't see it with John because he's ashamed. He's ashamed that was the direction that he had to go.
Yeah, because he's been told you're as good as Steve. That's why, like, I can't bring myself to hate John Walker.
I don't hate John Walker. I really don't.
I pity him, but I don't hate him. I can be like, God damn it, why are you doing that, asshole? But I can still not hate him.
To hate him is to hate the part of yourself that would do this similar things.
Sure.
Which would be if you are that person and you were have that mantle thrust upon you, and then the second you're in the field, you are met with failure after failure after failure after failure, and you are given a golden ticket. What do you do?
Right. Not only just failure, but multiple times you try to reach out to the two people that knew the guy you're trying to emulate so well. And your initial first contacts with them were like, hey, let's work together. I know I'm not Steve, but maybe we can work together. And Bucky and Sam are both basically being like, oh, fuck off. You're not Steve. And, he's like, John's like, I know I'm not, but, and they're gone. They just ghost him. So he's getting rejection from people he thought I would argue rightly, at least in his own mind, he thought would at least be willing to talk to him.
Yes, it's an incorrect belief.
Yeah.
Because that is not objectively looking at the situation and going, oh, wait. Like,
right.
He doesn't have the information of, no, what you're wearing is the mantle that Steve gave to Sam.
Right. He doesn't know.
And Sam, like, there's a reason Sam went, no, this belongs in a museum.
Yeah.
That's where the memory of Captain America belongs, so that no one can taint it. And the government went, yeah, we agree. I mean, here you go.
Yeah.
John's problem is and I think it's specifically written this way, he is expecting a level of respect that he has done nothing to earn.
Yeah.
In this particular role, he's done nothing to earn it. He's done things to earn it in like he's a highly decorated officer already. He's done things to earn respect. He's done nothing to earn anyone's respect as Captain America.
Right.
The one thing that he's done that is now televised, caught on film, is nothing that can be respected.
Yeah.
Aren't you?
Well, not by the public at large, but by the people. No, you're right. I guess what I'm trying to say is that, like, John Walker is also a product of his era. And it's not said outright, but it's very much implied. John Walker is a man who came of age, because he's what, late 20s, early 30s, the character's meant to be. So he is a character who came of age, not to get super deep, he's a character who came of age watching the Twin Towers go down and feeling this righteous call and a real shift in global politics and how America, at least to the public perception, flexes its military and political might and almost deifies military service. So he's a product of that. So when he's given the highest honor, and that is given the mantle of Captain America, he doesn't understand how even Cap's closest friends cannot embrace him. Because from his mind, he's like, I've done everything this country has asked me to do. The training, the schooling, the fighting, I have done it all. And I'm still not good enough for you? How dare you? Which is why I can't hate him.
Yeah.
The collective we as a culture, as an American culture, created John Walker. He is our Cap. We made him.
And as far as people outside the US see, we are John Walker.
Exactly.
Yep. Which is exactly what the character is supposed to be. He's a criticism of modern America.
Yeah.
It's like, yep.
And Wyatt Russell's killing it, by the way. He's so good.
I want to buy that man a drink. I really do.
Go
ahead.
Quick sidebar. I want to ask you, Cable, knowing how much you cared about this movie, if they were to do a sequel to Big Trouble in Little China, do you think Wyatt could play Jack Burton's son, who has no idea what his dad once did, but is now being pulled into it? I kind of want to watch that movie. Where he's like, Jesus, Dad, are you serious?
Yes, I would watch that.
It just popped in my head, and I was like, oh, you know what? Yeah. Where the whole world that knows what happened in Chinatown that time have deified Jack Burton, but to Jack's kid, he's just this alcoholic that was never around for him. And all of a sudden, he's being given the keys to like the 60-minute, whatever. And he's like,
6 demon bag.
What? No, my dad was a beer swilling asshole who was never home, just in his stupid truck. He loved his truck more than me. He saved the world once. Bullshit. Anyway, that's a whole other. Damn, now you and I should talk more about this off camera.
Yeah, I think we should.
We should.
Great.
Okay.
Huh.
And you just get Wyatt Russell to do it.
Yeah.
I don't know if he'd want to.
Would. I think you would. I don't know.
Hey, get Kurt Russell to play old drunk Jack Burton.
Oh man.
You get Kim Cattrall back. You can get damn near everyone back who needed to be back, even for just a cameo.
Dennis Dunn, you could get him.
Yeah, you couldn't get Egg because unfortunately he passed.
No. I know 2 of the 3 Storms are still alive.
All right, you and I should.
Yeah. Okay.
We will have socially distanced porch drinks and I'll bring a notepad.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And we will write the sequel to Big Trouble in Little China.
That sounds great.
Great. Okay.
I'm trying to remember what I was going to say now. Oh,
and
back to our conversation last week where we were talking about toxic fandom.
Yeah.
On Twitter, I saw Patton Oswalt make commentary about Falcon and Winter Soldier in this particular episode, and how he was real proud of Wyatt Russell and what he was bringing to John Walker. And the Twitter thread underneath that was nothing but positive remarks for Wyatt Russell and his portrayal of John Walker. There was not a shitty comment about, oh, I hate this new Cap. It was like, oh man, the things he's doing with John Walker, it's like, I really like, man, this character is complex, or I have strong feelings against him, but Wyatt Russell's fantastic. He's doing a great job. It's like, thank you, Patton Oswalt fans, for getting it.
Yeah.
And actively participating in the conversation in a way that actually brings the conversation up rather than shits all over an actor for doing the job that they were paid to do.
100%.
Yeah. So that made me feel really good, especially after our conversation last week, where it's like, guys, don't do this. Oh, look, it's fandom not doing the thing. That's awesome.
Right. Yeah, it's true. So we've got 2 episodes left. There's a lot to cover in 2 episodes still.
Yeah.
Even from an emotional stance. I hope they surprise me. And by that, I mean, this is getting me yelled at. I hope they surprise me. And that I mean, I hope neither Falcon or the Winter Soldier get the shield. I kind of like the idea of one of the statements this show makes is that the symbolism of the shield has been corrupted and we can't use the shield for a while. We just can't.
I don't think that's the direction they're going to go.
They're not. I don't think they are, but I think that's a narrative twist that I personally would think pretty gutsy to pull off, in that even your greatest symbolism of goodness can become corrupted if you are willing to let it happen out of a desire for security.
I don't know how they're going to pull it off in 2 episodes.
It's a lot. Even if they're hour episodes, that's a lot.
Yeah. I feel as though that the direction that they want to go is to put the shield back in Sam's hand. And it will have to be after an act that Sam has done that stays true to his values, stays true to the memory of what Steve Rogers was as Captain America, and redeems the symbol and gives rise to a new level of hope.
Yeah.
Which sounds saccharine, but is necessary. Like the wording that they are using in these episodes, it especially hit me this last episode. Every time they reference the blip and how people are trying to recover from it, and they're doing this and they're doing that, and they're just trying to get back to their lives, I'm like, this is every conversation everyone has about the COVID-19 pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
So it is definitely, and it's not dissimilar to a lot of the discussion in the background of WandaVision.
Right.
People have really, they're tapping into what is going on with people right now.
Yeah. I mean, maybe the message that comes out is that to the world, through either Sam or Bucky, the shield
Mm-hmm.
has its redemptive moment, but then to the world, it's destroyed. Like it symbolically gives up its life to make the world a better place. But that Sam has it,
Mm-hmm.
he doesn't hide it. He gives it to Isaiah and says, "This belongs to you. Like, you're the only one who should actually have this." Which, even from a 10 years down the road narrative, storytelling point, lets Isaiah give it to his grandson, who will become Patriot one day.
Right.
That gives you that moment in the Young Avengers movie when Patriot goes and holds up a shield, and the nerds lose their mind.
Mm-hmm.
And the racists lose their mind, because then we have actually a black Captain America, like on screen in the costume. You know what I'm saying? There's something that I like the idea of Sam giving the shield to Isaiah and saying, "You should have this."
There's some merit to that.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And I also want Chris Evans to come back as old Steve. I just want a scene with him and I, even if it's the last scene of the show, where they start to pull back and fade out of Steve Rogers showing up at Isaiah's house and saying, "I didn't know." That's as simple as it is. It's, let's get a fucking coffee and just let it out, and then just pull back. Because if Steve knows this, it breaks his heart. It crushes Steve Rogers. It fucking crushes him. That's the most damage you could ever do to Steve Rogers, to find out that the mantle of Captain America was used in such a way. That kills him. And he'd have to make it right, at least for his own conscience.
Mm-hmm. I feel like that is a 10-1 odds dark horse in the race of how they finished the series, but possible. Yeah. I also like how every so often Kang will just appear through your background.
Kang?
Yes.
That'd be awesome.
No, on your poster, he just every so often blips into the...
Sorry, because I'm thinking you meant Kang the Conqueror, and I'm like, wait, has there been an appearance of Kang in the background and I fucking missed it? Why didn't you open with that, sir? But yeah, no.
Because I know how to bury a lead and when to bury a lead.
Yeah. So yeah, we got 2 more episodes. We got to wrap up the show here. We got 2 more episodes to go.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of work to do.
I think that's true of America too. There's still a lot of work to do.
We got 2 episodes left.
Before we wrap up, I do want to give a shout out to Lamar, aka Battlestar. The way the character was performed and the way he was written was fantastic. Because
great work.
I watched from his inception all the way through. I'm like, oh yeah, you're dead. Like, you were getting killed. Yeah. And it's going to be the thing that triggers Walker. But based on reactions of other people, I'm like, it was written in such a way that I saw that, but it was also easily seen as like, oh, this is a great character. I'm really going to enjoy this. And I didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
It surprised so many people. And I'm like, that's fantastic. It
took me to probably about halfway through episode 2 when I was like, oh, Battlestar's not surviving this.
Yep.
Because he's becoming the moral compass to John Walker.
Mm-hmm. I think it's incredibly important that when Sam made the comment, it's like, I want to talk to her, I want to work this out. Lamar went, back Sam's play. Sam's right. Let's do what Sam said.
Yeah.
He knew. And it also has crossed that line of like, I know you're my partner and you're my commanding officer. But this man is right.
Yeah.
And I know it.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
I thought it was very important because it was black men supporting black men.
Yeah.
On screen.
And being right.
Yes. But it needed to be on screen that way. It's like, yep.
Yeah, like you said, and I didn't take long to realize that Battlestar wasn't surviving the series.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not to be all like, oh, they gotta kill the black person on screen. Like they didn't have. I feel like it wouldn't have. I'm gonna just dig myself into a hole here. As a character, Battlestar was destined to die.
Yes.
He's created to die for this show. Like that's why the character is created.
He was created to die in the comics.
Yeah.
Like that's what happened to him.
Yeah.
Like he
went. The way the actor
Mm-hmm.
performed that role and plays a key moral compass is very important.
Yeah.
And how John grossly misinterprets and reacts to his friend's death is also equally important, because you could imagine Battlestar being like, no, don't fucking do that. Like, don't do what they think you're gonna. Oh, you did it.
Mm-hmm.
Did you remember nothing of all of our time when we've served together?
Yep. And of course, if John had just told him, "Hey, I took the serum, or I've got the serum, I'm going to take it," maybe he wouldn't have readily jumped in front.
Yep.
Of an attack that Super Soldier John, would have survived.
Yeah.
But that tells you everything you needed to know about Lamar as well. It's like, no, he had
to protect the symbol.
Yep.
Yeah.
He knew what his job was.
You could argue he knew the importance of the symbol more than John did,
which would have made him a better Captain America.
100%. Yeah. But America can't have a black Captain America. Gross.
That seems to be the lesson is maybe we should. Which is why I think the show is going to end the way it's going to end. At least I hope. I think that's a moderately hopeful place to end the episode. I think so. Yeah. So with that, I'm Aaron Duran. And I'm Cable Hashitani. And I believe that next week we will have the return of Denise. Yeah. Just in time for Cable's second shot. Yes, I will be. And then the week after that, in time for my second shot. Man. So this could be a month of like just 2 hosts. Could be. But we'll be vaccinated. I'm being vaccinated hours before the show, so it'll be fine. Oh, you actually will be fine. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not. I'm being vaccinated 24 hours before the show. So let's see what happens. 24 hours to go. I'm gonna get vaccinated. Good night.